Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're doing a critiquing video. It's been a long while since I've done a critiquing video, and that's just because I've been doing other bits of content on the channel. But today I am in the mood for critiquing some of your logos, and I want to do it more often, and not only critique them, but I want to show you what I would do to make them better and things of that nature. So that's what we're going to do today. And if you want to be part of the crew, make sure you subscribe down below, turn on post notifications, and also if you want to send in your logos to be critiqued, then email the link down below, email the email down below, and you'll have a chance of being featured on one of these videos and having a free critique. So the first critique is from a woman called Nora, and she's made this logo because she started a new business which is about making manual booklets. They're displayed in short-term rentals containing information about the home and the surroundings. We want to achieve a simple flat design. And their current landing pages are over here as well. And I must say, the branding is like on point. I like this. It looks really good. It works really well. You didn't send me the actual AI file or the Illustrator file that you did. So I've tried to get the font, and here's a little tip for anyone. If you've just got the image like a PNG or whatever, and you want to find out what kind of font this is, it sometimes works if you highlight the actual image. So you just highlight it like this and the text there, and you go to type and then go to match font, and it will scan it and it will show you fonts in Typekit. I couldn't find yours though, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm going to bother with the actual icon. Now the icon of the logo is really good. I like it. I'm going to try and recreate it right here, but I think I know how you did it. It's very, very easy, and I'm going to try and like show people how you can make something like this, like so, and you brought them up and you made kind of like this square thing going on here, and from here you did a few cool things, which is you sort of like added an anchor point down here and you brought it straight down. Cool design. And then with all these, aside from everything else, you sort of like rounded the corners a bit. So I'm just going to just eyeball it here. So what I would do instead would probably, if you got rid of that anchor point and you put another anchor point down here somewhere, and we were to move this up, when you're creating this line, I don't want it to be too edgy because you've got rounded corners everywhere. So I'm going to play around with this and see what we can come up with. And we've got these cool little tools here. Sorry if you can hear the clicking, it's a new keyboard, but we've got these new little tools down here where we can like create the curve here. I'd like to see it with maybe a bit more of a curve. But then not only that, but when you're finished with it, we can maybe even round it off a little bit as well. Now also something that you probably didn't do is when you were adding this, you probably didn't add a stroke to it. You probably just created a shape behind it, or you used the Pathfinder tool or the Shape Builder tool to get rid of it. What I've done is I've added an actual white stroke around it. So this is what it would look like with a black stroke around it. It's black all the way around. But what this does is it gives the illusion on Illustrator as you're working on how it works. So what we end up having is this nice round part here to the cutout. And also something else, instead of rounding the whole point at the bottom, you could maybe round out just a tiny bit. So here you've got like a really straight point, maybe just round it out just a tiny bit. So just take it, highlight it with the highlighting tool and just round it a little bit like so, like that. And when you're done with that, you could, in theory, just go ahead and like drag it across and highlight the whole thing, go to Object, Path, and then Outline Stroke. And you've got the stroke outline there, so now we can get rid of it. So we press Shift and M, and then we use Alt just to get rid of the white around it, and then we just highlight these two together, and we've got the logo right there. And I really like the look of that, especially when it's small, you can see it. Maybe something else we could do is create a few different variations of this, because as you can see right there, when it's small, you can't really see the line, right? There needs to be a bit more of a line, I think. So maybe we just increase the line. Not that much probably, but like by a couple of strokes. So it was on 7 points before. And it's right there. I like that. And what we've done there is, instead of having the actual logo looking like this, where it's got a bit coming out that's sharp, we've actually rounded this whole bit and everything's got its place. So we'll just go ahead and we'll just minimize this one, scale it down, move it out the way, bring this one in. Repeat the process, go to Path, outline the stroke, and we'll just get rid of it and see what it's like when it's really small. Yeah, you can see here when it's small, it's a lot easier to read. Now the next part of this is to change your font style a little bit, or the kerning and the tracking. There's a few incorrections in here, and it may only just be me and a few other people that can see it, but there's a couple of things I'd like to change. So instead of actually changing this on Illustrator, I'm going to change it on Photoshop because it makes it easier, and also I don't have the files or the fonts. So the problem is the tracking is a bit off, so what we need to do is change that a little bit, and it's very easy to do, especially in Photoshop actually, because we just have to bring that in. And we're just trying to create the exact amount of space in between all of these different type things, all these different letters, to make it readable. And it may only be designers that see it properly, but it can really make it better. So I'm just going around like so, and I'm just adjusting it every now and then using the selection tool and just moving it with my arrow keys, which you may hear. But the O's and everything else have to be closer to each other than like the Y's and the M's and the F's, something with a straight line down it like here, because of the way that our eye sees the type. So the same is here for the S, because it's got rounded corners. We'll just bring that slightly in. But even fonts that have been pre-kerned sometimes don't work correctly for a logo. So it's something you've got to keep in mind for when you're doing this. So you've got to manually kern everything correctly. Get this eye here. There's a problem with the eye. There's a problem with the Y as well. It's a bit big. So this is the before and this is the after. Inform Easy. It's all one block of type. It works a lot better. If I had the actual file for the font, it would make it easier for me to increase the whole tracking very quickly. So I might have sped through that. But it looks a lot easier to see, I prefer it. It might just be discretionary, but it just looks so much nicer. So if we were to apply both of these together, the actual icon and the logo, let's do that. Let's see what it looks like. This is the process there. So you can see that we've got a bit of a different logo. I think it looks better. Completely discretionary, works better when it's small. If you have an app or if you wanted it really small on print or whatever, it works really well. The typography now just looks a lot better. I did cut off a bit of the F. But a lesson to anyone who's doing typographic logo design is the kerning and mastering that comes from practice and just looking at it and understanding the basics in how tracking and kerning work. So again, I'll say if you've got an A and an E, these things need to be close together, because to the eye, even if they're perfectly mathematically spaced properly, it doesn't work. So we need to optically, with our minds and our eyes, look to see what looks better. So it's all about looking easier to read. So if it's legible, it's great. If it's not. But this is my version of the logo. Honestly, I wouldn't change it. I think it's just me messing about with it and just twinkling it to my desire. Well guys, that was a quick logo critique, and it's basically I want you to do one critique really well every time we do a logo critique. If you want more in the videos, let me know down below. I'll do what you want. If you want more in one video, if you want less in one video, but I want to spend more time actually showing you what you can do in these videos. If you've enjoyed these videos, then consider pressing that subscribe button down below. If you liked it, press the like button. If you disliked it, press the dislike button twice. It works every time. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you would do with these logos, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See you soon. Goodbye.